Thank you so much for being here. Over on Oklahoma Chronicle, on the television side, we were just talking about teacher pay, more teacher pay, the extended school year, and some of the questions and how some of this all works together. Representative Caldwell, I'll start with you because I know you want to push back on some of this, but the general idea that more days in school is just fundamentally a good thing for students and outcomes here.
Yeah, I mean, again, to me, it seems very common sense. If you trust our teachers, if you trust our schools, we should want our students to be in front of those teachers even more. We know our students are not performing to the levels that they're capable of. We've got to do better, and one of the ways that we think directly we can do better is for them to go to school more, to give more opportunities for learning. Look, the reality is that many schools are already above this minimum threshold. Again, we're just raising the minimum. We're setting a standard. When our standard right now is amongst the lowest in the entire country, and we have some of the worst results in the entire country, that's a problem. We need to fix both.
I've heard, though, from teachers, and even there's been school districts that have come out and said that we don't like this. What is your reaction when you're hearing from the educators themselves that say we don't think that this is going to make a positive difference?
Well, I guess it's odd to me that I have more faith in them than I guess they do of themselves. I believe in our public schools, and I believe in our public school teachers. And that's why I want our kids to be in school more. It just makes sense. We know we're not doing good enough. We've got to push the boat out a little bit. Expect more of everybody. Expect more of our kids, our parents, our schools, our teachers. We funded it. We've put billions of dollars more on an annual basis. We're not seeing the results. We can't just keep doing the same thing. One of the things we're going to change is a longer school year.
Representative Rosecrans?
Yep.
What's your reaction here?
Well, first of all, we have a fundamental disagreement about the time in school being the most important part. I think if we're going to pass legislation that has to do with schools, well, we need to talk to the teachers. We need to talk to the folks on the front lines. What is it that you need to stay in the classroom? What is it you need to be able to be successful in your classroom? What is it you need so you don't leave and so we can actually get more folks in there? And nobody said we need to add more days to the calendar. What they said is smaller class sizes. What they've said is more autonomy, let teachers teach, that type of idea. Right now, this system, it's the United States, it's very prescriptive, once again, kind of saying you must do this and you must do that.
Right.
And I don't think that's the way children learn, and I don't think that's the best way for for teachers to teach children to learn as well.
I think you mentioned, you said this seems like common sense. And I guess when you think about it in the sense that, would we agree that if we took school days away from, if kids went to school 20 days less than what they did now, would that be a good thing? We'd probably say, I don't know. At least in my brain, I think no, that wouldn't be a good thing. So
so take for instance the 4-day school week kind of conversation we've had pretty much since you and I have been in office here. I at first didn't think that was a great idea until I had a district, Noble, that I used to represent before I lost it in redistricting, that did it, and it worked for the community. So I'm a big believer in local control, even though he'll probably say local control when.
right.
Because
right.
I was supporting a recess mandate, so I get that. But I am actually as local as we can be, and that's why with the recess mandate too, I'm glad, or the requirement, I'm glad that it does leave the locals to make those decisions. But some of the other stuff that we've passed doesn't do that. It's just like you're going to do it or else type thing.
So my kids are in the Edmond School District, and last month in April we had something. My wife told me, "Oh, they're not in school this Friday."
Right.
And I'm like, "What do you mean they're not in school this Friday?" She said, "Well, it's April Day." I said, "What is April Day?" And so, nobody knows. And so, like, as a parent who, you go through that stretch in the early winter in which it was icy, it snowed heavy, and then it was kind of icy for like a couple days, and these kids were out for like a week. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, parents get antsy, and they're looking at their kids, and I'm looking at the test scores, and I'm saying, so I can understand how parents get worried about this, and then I understand also how teachers get concerned about these things.
Well, and think about the system that we've been teaching in and learning in for a long, long time. It is all about the test scores. That's the end all be all. That's what we care most about. We don't really know, we're not asking, okay, student, what would you like that was going to really help you reach your goals, right? We don't really focus so much on that.
Well, and they take the test earlier in the year, and isn't there some talk, is there a bill to move them later?
There is. One of the things that is really drives me crazy is the fact is learning just shuts down after state testing. That's a problem. You lose 3 to 4 weeks of school. That is a problem. Now, I will tell you, there are some people that can change that, and they're not at 23rd and Lincoln. So that has always been a frustration for me. Look, bottom line for me is this. My parents were both public school educators. My dad ended up going into business, but both my parents were public school educators. I absolutely care about the perspective of our teachers, but I will tell you this. My decision matrix is very simple when it comes to education. What's going to be best for kids? And if less days and fewer days, if that's better for kids, I think we got a problem with the system. Again, when we know we're not doing well, we know our kids are struggling, more school makes sense. Especially, we like to compare ourselves to all these states around us. You pointed it out. We go to school less than almost any other state in the country. It's a very natural thing to do. When you got to do better, less isn't going to be more.
Well, a lot of stuff happening this session at the Capitol when it comes to education. Representatives Chad Caldwell and Jacob Rosecrans, thank you so much for your perspective and for coming on here together and talking about it.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining us.